We're here and we're live, and we've got a great show tonight. I'm Ron Olesko. I'm one of the co-MCs, and tonight I have the honor of being here with Liz, Stookey, Sunde. Liz, good to see you. How you doing tonight?
I'm well. Oh my gosh. Yes, here we are. Oh my gosh.
Well, what we're doing tonight is something special. The Greenwich Village Folk Festival, which is live every first Sunday of the month, has teamed up with Music to Life, and we'll tell you about that in just a moment. But just to let you know some of the artists that you're going to be seeing tonight. Reggie Harris will be here, Jayne, a gentleman I think Liz may know very well, Noel Stookey, Thea Hopkins, Charlie Mosbrook, Emma's Revolution, Carla Gover, SaulPaul, Tanaya Winder, and Joselyn Don. And all of these artists are folks that have been part of the wonderful organization Music to Life, which Liz and her father founded, I believe, back in 2000. Liz, could you give a little introduction to our viewers and listeners as to what exactly Music to Life is all about?
Absolutely. Yeah, so Dad and I created Music to Life really to sort of help next generation artists. So what we do is we connect socially conscious musicians with the resources that they need to realize their own bold visions for community change. So this is really about sort of carrying forth the legacy that many of your listeners might be familiar with regarding sort of, Dad's generation of musicians and really offering opportunities, sort of creative opportunities, networking opportunities for this kind of new, amazing group of musicians that are some of whom are with us tonight. And actually, I can keep going if I have just a minute longer. Should I keep going? Well, just because the artists that you're hearing tonight, we call them juried artists. We identify the artists that come to Music to Life first for their talent as singer-songwriters, but then also how they are actively stepping into their communities. So we help them succeed. We help them connect with collaborative partners to impact whether it's the economy in a community, whether it's climate change, whether it's immigration advocacy, whatever it is, we sort of help them take their talent and step off the stage and into their community with training, with funds. And basically the artists that work with us don't believe that change happens with just a song or just an anthem or a one-time benefit concert or even a single march. So the artists that we work with really, they're stepping off the stage and out of the studio, and they're actively using their music as a tool for change.
Well, I think tonight we're going to get a wonderful example of some of these artists. And I know doing a radio show, I've seen the compilation albums that you've put out and the great work you've been doing. So we're really proud to be working with you tonight here at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Now, we always ask for our listeners, we remind everybody that this is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and these concerts are free. And this month, the staff and technical expenses have been covered by a generous donation from a longtime Greenwich Village Folk Festival benefactor. So all the donations tonight are going directly to these artists to help this wonderful organization and the artists that they support. So you can check it out. I'm not sure we're working out on some of our technical problems, but you'll probably see a link in the either the Facebook or the YouTube pages, or you can go just to greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org and make a donation, and your support is greatly appreciated. Well, Liz, I'm going to let you get started. I want to hear some music, so you can introduce our first performer.
Let's hear some music. I just want to throw in that when you tip this evening, you're tipping not only for their talent of these, not only for the talent of these artists, but also for the work they're doing in their communities. So your contributions are supporting on two fronts. So thank you again for those contributions. All right. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to kick it off with actually one of Music to Life's advisory board members. It's Reggie Harris. So no stranger to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Reggie, welcome.
Well, thank you, Liz, and thank you all for joining in. I'm going to start with a song that was inspired by my grandmother. Mama said you better watch your step, 'cause you beside yourself. Mama says you better shut that mouth before you lose your health. Say they hurt your feelings, they just might take you out before they're through. Mama says that's crazy talk, who died and made you king? People who ain't here no more said that self-same thing. You got to know when to quit it. Careful where you stick your point of view. If you listen closely, you will recognize the lies. They say that if you fight, you cannot win. When that train rolls up, hits you right between the eyes. Better know who is and ain't your friend. You got to do what you're doing. Try and set the spark. Say what you're saying. Shout it from your heart. You got to make a change. Stand your ground. Gotta look 'em in the eye. You may just want to back right down when they call your name. So many have been here before, pushing through the pain. We all stand on their shoulders. Now it's up to us to see it through. It don't take no genius to bring tyrants to their knees. Passion makes you swim against the tide. Well, you may not win the battle. You may sail stormy seas, but ignorance won't have a place to hide. You got to do what you're doing. Try and set the spark. Say what you're saying. Shout it from your heart. You got to make a change. Stand your ground. Gotta look 'em in the eye. If you listen closely, you will recognize the lies. They say that if you fight, you cannot win. When that train rolls up, hits you right between the eyes. Pick yourself right up and start again. You got to do what you're doing. Try and set the spark. Say what you're saying. Shout it from your heart. You got to make a change. Stand your ground. You gotta look up and do what you're doing. Try and set the spark. Say what you're saying. Shout it from your heart. You got to make a change. Stand your ground. You gotta look up in the eye. Was inspired. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I am so thrilled to be part of this amazing array of musicians and activists, and that song comes from my grandmother commenting one night as we had a discussion on what it takes or what can happen when you become an activist, when you step out. She was talking about Dr. King and the fact that he'd been assassinated, and as we were talking about people stepping up, she said to me, you know, they kill people for less than that. And I didn't know at the time. I was actually just in my last year of high school when she said that to me. And that song, that phrase came back to me years later when I met people like Paul Stookey and Liz Sunde and Emma's Revolution and all of the folks who have been part of my maturation and my inspiration as an artist who uses music to incite action. So tonight I'm thrilled to be here. I'd like to continue this with a song that I wrote actually at the beginning of the pandemic. I was sitting in my living room considering where the world might be going. And at the time, I actually took the opportunity to go back and start listening to and singing the spirituals. Once again, I'm a child of the Great Black Migration. My grandmother and grandfather migrated along with those 6 million other folks who came from the South, fleeing the South. And they brought with them songs that had kept the community alive for hundreds of years. And so we were singing Wade in the Water, and we were singing Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Around. We were singing songs that, Oh Lord, How Come Me Here? We were singing I'm tramping, tramping, trying to make heaven my home. Songs that are part of the historical fabric of this nation, but also part of the civil and human rights struggle in this nation. And as I was singing those songs, and I started to do some performances online, a phrase came to me, and it turned into a song, which is how that often happens. I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, in my brain, the phrase, we will not rest till the storm is over. And of course, we know we have been through many storms. The pandemic certainly was one, but there are so many surrounding us. And so I started singing that to myself, and we will not rest till the storm is over. We will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. So I want to send this song out tonight to all of you who are standing up, to all of you who are not only using music, but are putting your feet in motion. You know, the spirituals got people on the road in a number of different eras in our nation's history. And they have really spirit-filled so many movements that we are continuing to move forward. So I'm going to invite you to sing this along with me tonight. Just get yourself to we will not rest. We will not rest till the storm is over. We will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. We will not rest till the storm is over. We will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. I know that you're weary. It's been a long, long road. So many have gone before us. They carried a heavy load, but they went there singing as they made their way. Now it's in their footsteps we follow as we work today. We will not rest till the storm is over. We will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. We will not rest. We will not rest till the storm is over. We will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. All around us there's hatred. All around us there's fear. Violence touches our lives, and the message is clear. We mourn our martyrs, and our hearts they'll stay. Then we'll sing, we shall overcome, and go on our way. We will not rest till the storm is over. We will not lay this burden down. We will keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. We will not rest till the storm is over. Hey, we will not lay this burden down. We will keep keep each other strong. We will love and carry on till we stand all together on solid ground. Till we stand all together on solid ground. Till we stand all together on solid ground.
Yeah, babe.
There we go. There we go. You know, I want to sneak in a little song, one that did inspire that song. Sing this along with me. Ooh, with those children all dressed in red, God's gonna trouble the water. They must be the ones that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Children say, who with those children all dressed in white? God's gonna trouble the water. They must be the ones getting ready to fly. God's gonna trouble the water. Children say, wade in the water. Wade in the water. Children, wade in the water. Say, God's gonna trouble the water. Children say, wade in the water. Wade, water. Children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. You'll be hearing a lot of songs tonight, and you'll be hearing songs written by folks who are climbing inside of a lot of subjects and using their passion for the work in their community. And so much of my work has been centered and focused around education and history. History because we need to know what happened. We need to know from where we come. And education, of course, because we take what we have in our traditions and our inspirations and our history, and if we apply ourselves to using those lessons of things that went before, then we do change the world, sometimes in very small amounts and sometimes in large. Music to Life has been at this for a while, and I've been so privileged to be part of this effort. And as I look at the various faces on the screen tonight, I know that I am not alone in this journey, as we have never been alone. I spent last week actually in Louisiana visiting about 10 schools and meeting with a lot of teachers, talking about the history of the Underground Railroad and how that energized people to work against slavery and energized people to work together. People of different races, colors, creeds, backgrounds, religions, no religions. You know, people who were very different, perhaps even in their philosophy, but they believed in their hearts that freedom and justice were important at a time when a lot of people, other people, were really focused on making money, building a legacy for themselves. And so it is those songs that keep me focused as I work with groups like the Living Legacy Project, where we take people on pilgrimages to the sites of the civil rights movement, and then we work with organizations around voting rights. And I do shows with Greg Greenway and the show that we do, Deeper Than the Skin, and with Alistair Mook in Boston and around the New England area with Race and Song, and with a lot of the friends and colleagues that I have, even here tonight, Emma's Revolution, and I had the opportunity to interact tonight with actually last week with SaulPaul, who will be on later. So I'm glad that you all are here tonight, and I'm not going to take a lot of time to kick this off. As one of the advisory board, I'm going to make some room here tonight. And I'm going to do a song that was another song inspired not only by the spirituals, but by somebody who stood up, the Reverend C.T. Vivian. The Reverend C.T. Vivian, on one afternoon in 1965, took about 60 people down to the courthouse in Selma, Alabama. He took them there, and they all knew that they were going to be turned away. But they walked down there anyway. They dressed up in their Sunday best, and they came and they stood outside that courthouse in a drizzle. And they announced to Jim Clark and all of the authorities in Selma, Alabama, because there was no African American in that county who had been allowed to register to vote. C.T. Vivian stepped up that day and he said, "We are here to register as it is our right as citizens, and we will not leave until we get to exercise our right. We are willing to be beaten for justice." Sometimes that's what it takes. He did get beaten that day, but he also stood up in history, as did those 60 folks. So this song is called Standing in Freedom's Name. This is what we're about tonight. We are standing for human rights and justice.
Alabama, 1965, a group of people standing in the rain. They came for resolution that was missing from their lives, came to end the terror and the pain. For 100 years of hatred, abuse and savage lies, fighting segregation and despair. They came in hope, believing that the world would hear their cries. One man put his finger in the air. He said, "We're willing to be beaten. We will never go away. Did you hear what we had to say? We will never go back. We will never go back. Got our eyes on the prize. Got this train on the track. We are here in freedom's name. And there's nothing you can do to make us wear those chains again." Future where we say that we are free, but the forces of evil and oppression are still here for every open eye to see. We are fighting in a battle of a lifetime, taking down those hated symbols one by one. Like our elders, we're fighting for the future. In their name we will do what must be done. We will never be defeated. We will never go away. Did you hear what we had to say? We will never go back. We will never go back. Got our eyes on the prize. Got this train on the track. We are here in freedom's name. And there's nothing you can do to make us wear those chains. We will never go back. We will never go back. Got our eyes on the prize. Got this train on the track. We are here in freedom's name. And there's nothing you can do to make us wear the chains. Singing freedom, singing freedom, singing freedom. We are here in freedom's name. We will never go back. We will never go back. Got our eyes on the prize, train on the track. We are here in freedom's name. And there's nothing you can do to make us wear the chains. We will never go back.
Whoa, beautiful, man.
Woo!
Oh, thank you, Reggie. Reggie Harris. I can't. What a great way to open this evening. Reggie certainly embodies the spirit of what Music to Life is all about. He is a wonderful performer and educator, and we love him. Thank you, Reggie.
Thank you.
Well, our next guest songs have been heard in many places, from Coca-Cola commercials to The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, where Emma won his Battle of the Instant Songwriters. Emma is an Emmy-nominated composer. She's a singer, songwriter, and a comedian who lives in Brooklyn, New York. When she's not making music, Emma is a teaching artist at the Future Perfect Project, creating media and programs to uplift the next generation of queer youth. She will also be appearing on March 15th at the Sultan Room in Brooklyn. Please welcome Emma Jayne.
Hello. Thanks for having me tonight. Oh, and there's my dog, so you'll get to enjoy his sweet vocals too. Unfortunately, not playing Sultan Room anymore on March 15th, but exciting news, I'm playing March 12th in Los Angeles at the Yard Theater to do my solo show called Songs for My Inner Child. It's all original music, storytelling, and kind of a cabaret style thing. So if you find yourself in Los Angeles, you know where to go. As it was stated, I work with queer youth, and I think the way I infuse activism into my music is just trying to be a good example of an out and proud queer person for the youth that I work with. And I'm going to play a song that was the first song I ever wrote where I used she, her pronouns, where I was referring to a woman, which was a big step for me because, you know, if your music is honest and you're a songwriter, you know, you have to tell the truth about the kinds of people you love. And I was realizing I was queer, and so it had to make it into the song. Oh, yes, the date and the place of the LA show. It's at the Yard Theater, March 12th, 2023. Not sure I included the year, but now we're all on the same page for sure. And it's at 7 p.m. We have a wonderful comedian hosting the night who's local to LA. And then, yeah, you'll be in for kind of a mishmash of things, but original music, storytelling, comedy, all sorts of genres. And it's a lot of fun. It's about my coming of age. So for queers and non-queers alike, I think you'll enjoy the show. But anyway, this is my song 3 years later, and I performed it for the first time. I wrote it with just talking about a guy, and decided in the spur of the moment at a live performance to throw she in there. And then when we recorded the live version, I honored that and put she. And people started to notice, and that was kind of my coming out of music, which is kind of exciting. And encourage the youth I work with to do the same, to just be their full selves in their music. I think that I just saw God out my airplane window, the most greens and yellows. Seen in a while, you were busy making love to a girl from Greensboro. Someone, oh sorry, I was reading the chat and got distracted. They tell you to forget what's going on. Forget your life is short and that the days are too damn long. Maybe I'm too good at reminding you of those intertwining roads around. I just saw a shooting star, made of lights and wires, made of starting fires inside your mind. If I never say goodbye, even when you hurt me and when you desert me, for months at a time, 'cause you helped me to forget what's going on. Forget your life is short and that the days are too dim alone. Maybe I'm too good at reminding you of those intertwining roads we're on. Now we're stopping time. I forget what happened yesterday. Oh, and I'm trying to decide if you're no good for me, no good for me, but it seems too hard to start anew. Get to know someone like I know you. Da 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 feel like your hands, and I'll still feel alone. Thank you.
Yeah. Ukulele girl. You're a ukulele girl.
I am a ukulele girl. Always have been. I do not know how to play guitar to this day, so that's brand loyalty. This next song is my latest release. It's called Gallery Wall, and it is all about long-term relationships and kind of how they can change and challenge you. And I'm in my very first relationship ever right now, and we're going on 4 years, so yay us. And it's a lot different than I thought it would, mostly because it's my first one ever, but also I think queer people don't get to see themselves on TV or in movies or in media as much, and so you're kind of playing things, seeing how they go as they go, and it can be confusing, and you're not sure what's right because you don't really have a blueprint. But before I go into that, I just want to talk a little bit about the Future Perfect Project. We're a nonprofit organization that amplifies the voices of LGBTQIA+ youth through the arts. And so what that means for our organization is providing free arts workshops to queer youth all around the country and beyond, completely online. We offer some in-person workshops, but our main offerings are online. And the offering I'm most excited about to talk about is Future Perfect Records, which is our artist residency that is application-based. And right now we have 12 amazing young queer songwriters and 11 amazing young queer songwriters and one producer, budding producer, from all around the country. And we meet every week or so on Zoom, and they're given the resources to write, record, and distribute music, all on our dime. And it's really special because there is sometimes a money barrier to making music. It can be quite expensive. And so by taking money out of the equation, we're able to let these young artists just be artists and also spread their message. There's so much anti-trans and anti-LGBT legislation swimming around. And so as everyone here knows, a big way you can stand up and be an activist is through your art. And that's exactly what these kids are doing. And I love them all. They're really great. And if you want to support us, we're looking for volunteers and people who want the opportunity to see us grow and provide this, this offering, this residency to even more youth. We also give them a lifetime subscription to a performance rights organization. So they're not only walking away with a song, they're walking away with the tools they need to become profitable with their music in the future, which is just really special. And wish I had it when I was younger. So there you go. So here is Gallery Wall, and hope you like it. It's my latest release. So if you like it tonight, you can listen to it all you want, wherever you get your music. I'm staring at a photo book of us and wondering when it turned from easygoing pictures to hard work. I can't help but to notice how I've changed. Some extra inches on my waist, mine's still beautiful to her. Scientists say that it's normal, so we keep on chugging on. Bend the rules a bit, promise to stick around. 'Cause we put up a gallery wall, it'd be too hard to take it down. Messages we'd sent, I can't help but wonder when the poems turn to grocery lists. This kind of thing, it happens all the time, and I thought deep down we'd be fine, and yes we are, but I want the best. Scientists say that it's normal, so we keep on chugging on. Bend the rules a bit, promise to stick around. 'Cause we put up a gallery wall, it'd be too hard to take it down. down. Won't you stick around? 'Cause we put up a gallery wall. Please don't take it down. Staring at the TV, holding hands in big t-shirts and no pants. Am I still beautiful to her? Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Oh, I'm so glad people are liking it. So happy to be here tonight. Thank you, everyone who made this possible and muscling through the live stream, and for everyone in the audience for your patience. We're musicians. We're really good at the singing stuff, but you got to give us a break with the tech stuff. Okay, I have one song left for you, and it's not the most powerful of a message, but I do think it's important as artists, especially artivists, which is what we call ourselves at the Future Perfect Project, are artists that are infusing activism into what they do, an artivist. We have to make time for joy and silliness, I think, if we want to be able to keep up with our activism and our movements that we're passionate about, or else we're going to burn out. So this is a song I wrote recently with an artist I really admire. We co-wrote it. His name's Eric Hutchinson, and we had a great time writing together. And this is my joyful, silly song to remind myself that it doesn't have to be so serious all the time, and everyone deserves a joy and some release and a little break. And so I hope you like this one. It's about, well, you'll see who it's about at the end. Ever since I met him, I don't water my plants. When things don't go my way, I take a diplomatic stance. Because of Marty, everyone should have a guy like him. Ever since we got together, I find joy in the mundane. He turns my chores and errands into my new favorite game. Have you met Marty? Everyone should have a guy like him. He gets protected, but it's because he loves me so, I hate to leave him, he gets so angry, but a lady's gotta go. So you better get used to him and I a pair. I got him on a leash and he's not going anywhere. Because he's Marty, everyone should have a guy like him. He comes with baggage, he can get stuck in his old ways. I help him manage, he takes me on a walk each day. Believe me, there always will be others. I fall in love each day, but when I hold him in my arms, I know I'll never stray. Because of Marty, everyone should have a guy like Marty, everyone should have a guy like Marty, everyone should have a dog like him.
Woof, 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 woof.
And there he is.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Thank you. My guy's Tycho. So
Aww.
Tycho.
I can re-record that and put the name of your dog for anyone that needs, as long as you tip the artist tonight.
Oh, I like that. Go see her. Go see the Jimmy Fallon video. It's amazing. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for having me.
She could do it. Yay. Thank you so much. So Emma Jane's actually one of our newest Music to Life juried artists. So welcome. And now I get to do what Peter and Mary used to do right? From the stage. I get to introduce my dad.
Da da da
SaulPaul
da
Stookey.
da 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 da.
But is he on with me now? Are you actually here? Are we here? We're
There
here.
I am.
There you
Hi.
are.
Hi,
Well, and
sweetheart.
it's hi. Nice to see. I'm all the way East Coast. I'm up in Vermont. Dad's all the way West Coast, which is kind of funny. So we're about as far as we can possibly get from each other at this moment. But here we are. To the
This
beauty of
show's been
technology.
great. What a great opening.
Yeah.
Reggie was, and
Yeah,
Emma
thanks,
was just
Reggie.
delightful. I'd
Yeah.
never heard her before, and I
Yeah.
grew up learning the ukulele. I mean, that's how I came to know this instrument at all.
Yeah.
And she really plays it beautifully. She takes, it takes 3 notes to make a chord, and that 4th one is the leading tone to whatever the next chord's going to be, or wherever you want to take it. And she plays that 4th note beautifully. Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to her.
Good. Well, I'm glad that we're here, and we're gonna sprinkle you throughout the show. That's what we decided. We're gonna sprinkle you. So we're
Good, I feel
sprinkling.
lighter already.
Yeah, we're sprinkling you in now, and you're gonna share a song, and then we're gonna come back a couple more
Great.
times during the show. But thanks, Dad. It's great to this is very affirming. Very affirming to have all these people talk about music to life and be part of music
Yeah,
to life. And it's been a
absolutely.
long journey with you, and I am so grateful for our time together, grateful
Oh,
for
sweetheart,
what we've created.
you have taken the concept from Kerrville's early talent contests to the communities across the United States, and I'm so proud of you and so thankful for what you've done. Yeah. Anyway,
Great to be with you.
this song I wrote, and I think most songwriters would agree. You don't always know where the song's going to go when you start singing, when you start writing it. So I didn't know where the song was go, but I'm really pleased with where it ended up. Say it's not that kind of music, he said with a smile. More about the message, less about the style. Then he played a chord and each of us would try to learn a part. He brought us all together singing music from the heart. It was a lesson in harmony, and we'd make that joyful sound. It was a song about spirits reaching for that higher ground. Sometimes it was a banjo, songs from other lands. Sometimes it was a 12-string, just the sound of clapping hands. But there always came a moment kinda hard to understand, when the music became bigger than the man. It was a song about magic, and it was a song about mystery. It's not that kind of music, I still can hear him say, though the 12 strings on the wall now, waiting for a brighter day. I remember when it only took one voice and one guitar to bring the world together, to bring the world together, to bring the world together, singing music from the heart. It was a song about justice, asking, won't you take a stand? It was a song about a song to sing all over this land. And that's a reference to If I Had a Hammer, and of course the song ended up being about Pete Seeger. And it has been such a great gift, this thing called folk music, where no matter what the format, the message is the important thing. I think we forget that sometimes with sometimes when we watch music being performed in gala circumstances. But it was the message, as a matter of fact, of a song called Jesus is on the Wire, which was the first song I ever heard about Matthew Shepard's sacrifice. You know, he was basically a martyr for the LGBTQIA. In 1998, he was put on a barbed wire. And the song by Thea Hopkins was so powerful that Peter Mary and I recorded it in these times, and then later was released on an album, I think, called the Prague Sessions. But Thea Hopkins has long been a defender of human rights, and it is my honor to introduce her tonight. Thea, I am so proud of what you've done and what you continue to do for Music for Life and for the world.
So yes, it's a real honor to be here and to be here with everyone in Music to Life. And Noel, Peter, and Mary, you guys changed my life when you discovered my song and recorded it. And I'm so honored by just everything you guys are doing, Music to Life, Liz, everybody with Music to Life, and the way it's growing and flourishing over all these years. So it's wonderful to be a part of the organization. This is a song. It's not exactly political, but it's about love. It's called Lilac Sky. Lilac sky, turning black, train rolls down a railroad track. Streets so narrow where we fall into each other's arms. Angels have wings to fly. Angels have wings. Angels have wings to fly. And baby, so do you and I. Windows shatter like tambourine. This hotel tonight where I dream. Of blue highways, blue mountain tops, everything cannot stop. Angels have wings to fly. Angels have wings. Angels have wings to fly. And baby, so do you and I. Tin roof, yeah, I know where we met. I sit here, drinking to forget. I need to know, need to know. Angels have wings to fly. Angels have wings. Angels have wings to fly. And baby, so do you and I. Angels have wings to fly. Angels have wings. Angels have wings to fly. And baby, so do you and I. Thank you very much. This next song I'm going to do is it's a song that I recorded a couple of years ago, and I was once again, Noel, it's just been an amazing person in my life. I contacted him right before I was going to record the album, Love Come Down, and this is one of the songs on it, and it's a song I wrote. It's called The Ghost of MtL, and Noel very generously added his wonderful vocal harmonies and a second guitar part to it, and once again, thank you, Noel, for that. I was, as you may know, today is an anniversary of Bloody Sunday, and I was thinking about that when I was considering what songs to do tonight, and so this is it's about the past, obviously, but it's also about the present. In the town of Money, on the Mississippi side, sharecroppers, cotton patches, magnolia skies. Deep in this delta, more than 60 years ago, a boy was murdered down the road. The ghost of MtL walks across this land, still waiting for America to take his hand. Out on the Delta, there was no moonlight when MtL was taken from his bed that night for whistling at a white girl on a summer day. A 14-year-old black boy would end up in his grave. The ghost of MtL walks across this land, still waiting for America to take his hand. The Tallahatchie River, where MtL was found, Those waters are still rolling. They feed this ground. You can get away with murder in this country still. If the boy looks like Emmett Till, the ghost of Emmett Till walks across this land, still waiting for America. The ghost of Emmett Till walks across this land, still waiting for America to take his hand. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to talk about a program that I created. I'm a member of the Aquinnah Wampanoag tribe of Martha's Vineyard, and I grew up hearing legends and from my relatives and about Wampanoag history, and over the last several years, particularly, I've reconnected with my indigenous roots and with indigenous folks in the U.S. and in Canada and around the world. And I was inspired to create a program called In the Roundhouse, which is a celebration of traditional but also contemporary music, and it includes performances and workshops. And I'm really thankful that this was BC before COVID. I was able to get out there a little bit with it, and I'm looking forward to bringing it to other arts organizations in the future. And I'm also expanding it with a program called Moshup's Trail, which is based upon a Wampanoag legend of Moshup the Giant, which will incorporate history of the tribe and be an educational experience for children, and also something that adults can participate and enjoy as well. And I want to simply recreate the sense of wonder that I experienced the first time I heard it when I was 7 years old, and my Aunt Patsy told me about Moshup the Giant and how he created the cliffs of Martha's Vineyard. And if you've ever been there, you've seen how beautiful they are. So that's what I have been, one of the things I've been focused on. And I want to say that Music to Life has been wonderful because of what they're doing, all the work that they're doing to support social action in this day and age. And this next song I'm going to do, it's called Love Come Down. And I do think love, I know it's corny, but I do think love is very much what is not present in certain situations, and people sometimes find refuge in things that are not the opposite of that. Let's just put it that way. And the chorus of this is Love Come Down, and after you hear it, you may want to join in on it. So I want to thank everybody from Music to Life, and it's wonderful to be part of this this evening and to hear everybody. So thank you. On this day, without a sound, drops of rain fall on dry ground, and every prayer God never heard is answered, every word. Love hold my hand, and I'll hold yours. A remedy, a simple cure. In this world, wrong has might, many times, turning day to night. Love, come down. 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 Come down. Come down. Come down.
Amen, Thea.
Thank you.
Oh boy, great stuff. Thank you so much, Thea. Ah, so glad to have you with us. So Thea has been a juried artist with Music to Life for a number of years. Thanks for your kind words, Thea. And she also, Ghost of MtL is featured on our Hope Rises album. We do, Emma's Revolution actually was on our first original Hope Rises album. But if you want to find out more, I think there's going to be information in the chat. You can also go to music2tolife.org and just in the search bar, just type in Hope Rises and you'll find both of the albums. So thanks again, Thea, that was beautiful. Okay, so I get to introduce you to Charlie Mosbrook. And Charlie, I'm just so glad to know you, Charlie. And I'm trying to remember who put us together, but you came to me obviously with your talent and then your education hat on, and I just know there's going to be wonderful things that we do together, but I'm going to read your story because it's an amazing story too. So I'm just going to do a little bit of reading because Charlie suffered an incomplete spinal cord injury in 2010 and now spends much of his time using a wheelchair and a cane for mobility, which you don't see when you meet him. It has been such a pleasure to get to know you. I got to see him at Folk Alliance International at their conference last month, which was just such a treat. Charlie, thank you. And he was part of our showcase. But Charlie's also a 2-time Ironman triathlete and a 12-time marathon finisher. So he draws on this experience and persistence in endurance sports to continue moving forward as a performer, touring annually, independently, by bus, train, air. And then there's I know you're going to talk a little bit, Charlie, but he also serves on the City Council of Cleveland Heights on the Transportation and Sustainability Advisory Committee, and then Folk Alliance International, the Cultural Equity Council for advocating for people with disabilities. So I just thank you for being here, Charlie. Really excited that you're joining us.
Thank you, Liz. It's so good to be here with all of you. There's so many people who are performing tonight that I really admire, and really anybody involved with Music to Life I admire. I'm grateful to share visions with people who have a vision for a better world. I wanted to start off real quickly just by recognizing a woman whose obituary I just read. Her name is Judy Heumann. She was a disability rights activist before there was disability rights activists. And I'm just going to quote her real quickly before I start singing. Disability only becomes a tragedy when society fails to provide the things we need to lead our lives. Job opportunities or barrier-free buildings, for example. It is not a tragedy to me that I am living in a wheelchair. And it's a very important message to me, and something that I try to share with my students all the time, that the tragedy is not that I'm in a wheelchair. The tragedy would be if I didn't do anything with that. And I just hit my iPad against my guitar, so I'm double checking my tuning. But I'm going to start off with a song for anybody who has ever stood up for themselves and others. It's a song that the Woody Guthrie Folk Festival recognized as the second best one that year. I like being number 2. Remember who we are. We come from near and far. And women marching in the streets and bent-kneed athletes. And we are refugees and dreamers, the immigrants you blame, and we will come from near and far. Remember who we are. Remember who we are. We carry open scars and push these wheelchairs forward. You cannot disregard us as we block the halls of Congress for the fear of a graveyard. We will come from near and far. Remember who we are. We stood up to the Klansmen and the Nazis just the same, and to a tone-deaf president for whom the victims shared the blame for a deadly act of terror. To him it's just a game, and we will come from near and far. Remember who we are. And we are scientists and teachers, reporters on TV, investigators, lawyers. Oh, the proof it's plain to see, and the evidence it's obvious. So don't look the other way, and we will come from near and far. Remember who we are. And they say that our lives matter, but it doesn't seem that way when the consequence of living is dying every day. And if the motto of the police is self-service and neglect, oh, we will come from near and far. Remember who we are. And the schools, they're filled with children. They live by different rules, and drills and lockdowns put in place can't save them from these fools. And as you pander to the worst in us, young lives they're laid to waste. And we will come from near and far. Oh, remember who we are. And we will come from near and far. Oh, remember who we are. That song was originally inspired by the kids in Parkland because they stood up for themselves. And one of the kids I remember, it was so powerful. He looked at the camera. I don't know which news network I was watching, but I was watching one of them. And the kid looked at the camera and he said, "Come next November, we're going to be old enough to vote. You better remember who we are." And that just stuck with me. It was such a powerful message. Now, also in Florida, I don't know Florida that well. I've never actually been to Florida. But this morning I woke up and learned that one of their lawmakers was proposing a law that would enable the state to take custody of children whose parents decided to provide them with medical services that they thought were important. And I think the idea of taking somebody's child is horrible. And this song is written at a time when we were all witnessing a lot of children being taken away from their parents. It's called Abandoned Big Box Store. And they are sleeping tonight. You know what? I just realized I need to change my key. Sometimes we forget to change our keys and we can't get in the door, and that would be very embarrassing. So I'm going to take care of that before we even get to that point. There we go. This seems a little low. I've got a low voice, but it doesn't work. All right, let's go. And they are sleeping tonight near the border in an abandoned big box store. Chain link cages and blankets for space. They sleep on linoleum floors. And they came here seeking asylum. They were torn from the arms of their moms. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border in an abandoned big box store. Came here from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. They did what any parent should do to escape from these brutal drug wars. And they came here seeking asylum. They were torn from the arms of their moms. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border in an abandoned big box store. And Congress does nothing, though they disapprove. For the press they will just shake their heads. But political threats trump moral regret. So they save their seats instead of children seeking asylum. They were torn from the arms of their moms. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border in an abandoned big box store. President, he blames the Democrats and demands that they build his wall or continue to separate mother from child. He could end this with one single call. Still he ramps up his rhetoric to rally his base, to enrage his deplorable core. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border in an abandoned big box store. Now who will stand up for these children? Would you stand up for your own? If they had been taken away from you for the crime of not having a home, they came here seeking asylum. They were torn from the arms of their moms. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border in an abandoned big box store.
Ooh, tough message, Charlie.
I don't want to leave you on that, and I said, when I met Liz last month in Kansas City, one thing I said to her, and she got excited. I think she completely agreed with this idea, was that as activist songwriters, it's also important to have fun and to allow our audiences to have fun, because a lot of what we do writing these songs and performing them for other activists, the people getting out there and doing all the footwork, is to not only give them a sense of unity and build up their strength, but also give them a sense of relief, give them a chance to just let loose. And it's important to have fun and think about the little things, like just love. And so that's what this is about. And real quickly, I guess, before I get into this song, I want to just mention that some of the work I've been doing around Cleveland. I've been working with a group called Roots of American Music and a group called Lake Erie Inc., which I have sitting next to my Music to Life button here. Got to represent a little bit. And we've been working in a program called Stop the Hate with the Maltz Museum, which is the Jewish Heritage Museum of Cleveland. And what we do is we get together with students, and with Lake Erie Inc. we write essays, and with the Roots of American Music we do a songwriting workshop. And it's really an amazing opportunity for us to have wonderful conversations with young people and learn about what's important to them, and to help provide them with the tools to help make this a better world in the future. And along the way we write a pretty cool song a lot of times. And I had the opportunity to facilitate a couple rap compositions this year, which is not something I've done a lot of. So that was really a lot of fun, and a lot of fun watching it come together, because I think rap in a lot of ways is folk music. It gives kids an opportunity to make music wherever they are. Anyways, this is just a simple love song, and I want to thank everybody for being on this call and caring about these issues that we all do. And thank you, Music to Life, for including me. And I could not fake this if we could take this moment together we shared in this dream. Through time we both travel, the years pass us by. Now it's all brand new. I'm deeply fond of you. The ancients before us, they always found a way. It might have been survival, well, just to get through the day. It might have been love, like I have for you. And now it's all brand new. I'm deeply fond of you. Had been broken before we had spoken, and I didn't think I could love anymore. But my view has changed, and it's thanks to you. And now it's all brand new. I'm deeply fond of you. I'm deeply fond of you. I'm deeply fond of. Thank you very much.
Charlie Mosbrook, thank you so much. And I hope our audience will check out your website, charliemosbrook.com. You have some wonderful recordings, and you want to check it out. You also want to check out the musictolife.org website to find out more about this incredible organization that we're celebrating tonight. And the Greenwich Village Folk Festival is so proud to be working with them tonight to bring you these wonderful artists. And don't forget, the Greenwich Village Folk Festival is a gift to the community to honor the music of Greenwich Village. It's a 501c3 organization, a nonprofit organization, and these concerts are free. However, we do have a tip jar. Now, this month's staff and technical expenses have been paid for by a generous benefactor, a longtime benefactor to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. So all the money that comes into our tip jar tonight will go directly to support these artists and the work that they do. And of course, you've been hearing about some of this work that they're doing, and it's just incredible. You can also go to the website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. You'll see the donate button there, and also I believe you'll see it in the chat features on both Facebook and YouTube. Well, up next, I am so happy this duo could be with us tonight. Pat Humphries and Sandy O have been performing together as Emma's Revolution for, believe it or not, over 20 years. They're winners of the John Lennon Songwriting Contest Grand Prize and also the first Phil Oakes Award winners. And their songs speak of truth, and sometimes it's hard truth for some people. But they use the tools of love and justice to examine all the critical issues that we face. Now, they've created songs for the School of America's Watch, Code Pink, the Refugee and Immigrant Women's Network, Black Lives Matter, and many more. And as social justice activists, well, they performed at protests for peace, women's rights, labor rights, environmental protection, and many other progressive causes. And tonight, we're honored to have them on our virtual stage here at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. May I present Emma's Revolution.
Thank you so much, Ron. It's great to be with you all here. We love being part of anything that Music to Life has going on, and we really are enjoying hearing everybody's music and seeing you all again. We miss being able to see you in person. We look forward to the time when we can.
But we're here singing along with you all. So we're going to start with a song that has a part for you all to join us, and in fact, you can make up in your ears perhaps the part that Reggie Harris sang with us on the song on a video that we made when we first wrote this song, when it was a time when we really couldn't get together and sing. But we wanted this song to be out in the streets. We couldn't even be out in the streets at that time, having people in our family, including me, a little more vulnerable to COVID. And so we wrote this song to put it out to our people who are out in the streets, saying that Black lives do matter.
So sing with us. Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise. Our people gonna sing.
Our people gonna sing.
Our people gonna sing. In spite of everything, hear our freedom ring. Our people gonna sing. Our people gonna fight.
Our people gonna fight.
Our people gonna fight for what we know is right. We're marching through the night. Our people gonna fight. Our people gonna grieve.
Our people gonna grieve.
Our people gonna grieve. Whatever you believe, we have the right to breathe. Our people gonna grieve. Our people gonna pray.
Our people gonna pray.
Our people gonna pray. Take our rights away. See you on election day. Our people gonna pray. Our people gonna rise.
Our people gonna rise.
Our people gonna rise. Listen to our cries through the pain and lies. Our people gonna rise.
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 Woo!
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 Thank you so much. You know, we were watching that coverage of the 58th anniversary of Bloody Sunday and seeing the people in the streets there on the Edmund Pettus Bridge and just thinking, those are our people. Those are the people that we always want to stand with and be in solidarity with. So we decided that we would do that song today.
And this next song is a little bit more of a personal song. I wrote it for friends of ours who we're going through a particularly difficult time, but when we think about it, so many families are going through the same experience, whether it's because of natural disaster or it's because of the things that we as humans are doing with climate change and the disasters of war. And so I'm thinking about the people who have been experiencing earthquakes or are under threat of war these days and are longing for safety of home.
Home is in my heart, in your gaze, in our tears. Home is when we breathe and when we touch, we are home. And we will rise, wings singed with memory. We will rise, lifting from the ashes what was and what is still to be. Swear within us we will rise towards home again. Home is in their eyes, in your voice, in our hands. Home is when we wake and when they rest, we are home. And we will rise, clouds fade beneath us, and we will rise, angels come to guide us, the roads were leading nowhere, now there's a clearing in the distance, we will rise towards home again, rise towards home again, rise towards home again.
Woo!
I really do hope we can build some kind of foundation. Speaking of, I was just about to say foundation around that song Home and the concept of helping people find their homes or rebuild their homes after like the wildfire that took our friend's home out in Colorado. And we are coming to you from California, which has had the most rain and the most snow that we possibly could have had. And at the same time as we were hearing from friends on the East Coast that it was, 85 degrees in DC a week ago for a day.
And this was the song that Noel and Liz included on that first Music to Life compilation, and we were really honored to have them include it with all the other wonderful music that they selected for that recording.
And one of the next things that we're doing coming up is going to New Mexico for a shut-down drone warfare demonstration that's happening at one of the bases where people learn how to do this and where people are sitting in their bunkers and dropping bombs somewhere halfway across the country. And I mention it in connection with environmental issues because actually war is the most destructive activity on this planet for our planet. There's so much fossil fuels used and the fires and the bombing and all sorts of things. You know, in the case of bombing that was happening in Lebanon a few years ago, there was so much heat that it was fusing the sand into glass. So we as activist musicians, one of the things that we do is that we feel that these issues are connected. We are peace activists who care about the environment. We are environmental activists who work for labor rights. We are labor activists who work for women's and LGBTQI plus lives. And Black lives, of course. And it's important for us that these issues are seen as we are allies in these issues to create the world that we really want to live in. And in the case of this next song, there's a part for you to sing with us. We kind of took inspiration from Greta Thunberg, one of those young Swedish, she is the young Swedish climate activist, but one of this group of young climate activists who are really saying to people of our age, you got to get it together. This is our future that you are threatening. And she said, I need you to act like your house is on fire, because it is. So in this song, you can sing with us, Put Out the Fire.
Put out the fire. Put out the fire. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Put out the fire. Put out the fire. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. We love you. We hear you. We commit to change our ways, not later, but sooner, right now, for your future. You can't wait. Put out the fire. Women can't wait. Put out the fire. Planet can't wait. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. For our children. Put out the fire. And their children. Put out the fire. And their children. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. For songbirds. For clean air. For the ocean and the bays. Not later, but sooner, right now, for our future. Melting glaciers. Put out the fire. Rising seas. Put out the fire. Bleaching corals. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Shrinking shorelines. Put out the fire. Sinking islands. Put out the fire. Growing dry land. Put out the fire. Our house is on fire. Let bees live and let trees grow. Let the snow fall where it may. Not later, but sooner, right now, for the future. Right now, for the future. Right now. Put out the fire, this is how we put out the fire. Time is how we put out the fire. Our house is on fire.
Woo! Woo! Oh my God. Beautiful.
Love to Liz and to Noel for creating this organization. Big love to y'all. We're part of it.
Thank
So
you
great
so
to have
much.
you part of it.
Yeah. And of course, Dad and I remember that song so well because we did a trailer. Special thanks to Neil Eckstein, who helped us with that. But for our first album, and that song just was the through line. It was like, oh man, I'm dating myself, but KTEL Records, like we wanted to do a trailer. And so, but that starting with that song and having that be the through line as other songs kind of came on, that would fade and then it closed, and it was just.
Yeah, it was great.
So,
And you had a great band too.
We did have a
Yeah,
great
you did.
band. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic players from Oakland.
Yeah.
Women musicians, Coffee Brown on drums and Vicky
Yeah.
Randall
Yeah.
on bass and
Great
Shelley
stuff.
Doty on electric guitar.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome
it's
women.
really good. So I'm sure that music video exists somewhere, correct?
It exists
So
on
you
our
can.
YouTube page, and probably yours too, and our Facebook.
There you go. Good point. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you
you all.
again.
Yeah, I think one of the things about Music to Life is that it is so inclusive of other genres. It was, I mean, pursuant to the song I first sang, you know, about it's not that kind of music. It's more about the message, less about the style. I really commend you, Liz, on your choice of music.
Well, here's the thing, and I think you and I decided early on, what is folk music? If it's music of the people, and for example, if you're trying to move urban youth around issues of environment, what is their language? What is the language that, if you're going to speak to them musically, what is the language they need to hear that message through, such that, I mean, some of our most powerful shows, you know, in the early days were shows that where you'd have this incredible mix of ages in the audience and different kind of genre preferences, and they would see these incredibly diverse artists on the stage, but they all believed in this one case, they all believed in environmental, you know, sort of climate justice. And so to see a young rap artist on the stage, knowing that he was going into his community and working with, you know, with kids around this issue, is everybody got it. 70-year-olds with their fists in the air. I mean, it was beautiful. It's beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's
So,
great.
anyway.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, similarly, the next song that I was going to do really goes back. Now, we lost a great songwriter. Most of you are familiar with Burt Bacharach. And to intro this next song, I borrowed some of his music. Because I think the underlying, and I felt it in a lot of Thea's performance and a lot of what I've heard, the second tune from Emma's Revolution, it's about love. And unless we can come to understand that that is the magnet upon which we can all agree, I think we're going to have continual labors in this field. So without further ado, or did you want to say something else?
No, you go for it.
You're going to let your dad go, eh?
Go do.
Okay. Yeah. Burt Bacharach. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's the only thing that there's just too little of. Let's talk about love with a capital L. When was the last time you heard it spelled with the emphasis in the proper place? Yeah, let's talk about love in the uppercase. Some might call it amazing grace, or the author of time and space. Let's talk about love. You may recall a situation, change your heart and you didn't see. Well, love's the only explanation for a miracle that set somebody free. Oh, let's talk about love with a capital L. Not talking about witchcraft or a magic spell or hanky-panky in a cheap motel. Now let's talk about love. Now I'm not saying that I love you any There's more here than we are usually willing to confess. Ooh, yeah, let's talk about love, where it all began. Yeah, love, love, love like a master plan. If you believe, then raise your hand and let's talk about love, 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 love with capital L.
Woo! Yeah. Love. Talking about love. Thank you, Noel. Just what we need. The world needs more of. I always say there's 3 L's that we need. Love, listen, and learn. That's the only way we're going to make change. Well, for those of you out there, if you know, I host a 24/7 radio channel called Folk Music Notebook. And if you've been listening recently, you've heard songs from a new album called Fresh Picked Kentucky Music. It was recorded by a Kentucky family band called the Corn Maze String Band, and it's led by East Kentucky native Carla Gover. She's a songwriter, a singer, a banjo picker, an old-time dance master. She performs traditional ballads and banjo tunes from her native Appalachia, as well as original tunes, which touch upon themes of home, family, a sense of place, social justice, and spirituality. She also collaborates with a variety of artists and educators on projects to improve the quality of life in the state of Kentucky through music, dance, and fostering cultural understanding. Carla is the winner of the Chris Austin Songwriting Contest and also the Kerrville New Folk Award. And currently, one of her songs, Me and the Redbird River, is being made into a children's book. She's also the host of a fascinating podcast called What Dreamers Do, which features interviews and great stories of life as a creative artist. We're lucky to be able to sample some of what she does tonight. Let's give a warm welcome to Carla Gover.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for that nice introduction. I'm certainly honored to be with such a wonderful group of musicians and wonderful souls and people that are doing good work in the world, and I feel that there are many kindred spirits here and probably watching too. As Ron mentioned, I am a tradition bearer from the mountains of eastern Kentucky, and I spend a lot of time passing on the old-timey tunes that I learned from the elders and from from my family, my grandparents. But I'm going to focus tonight because of what this concert is on my original material, and especially because Kentuckians, we are no strangers to using music as a tool for social justice. That has certainly been our MO in the coal fields and fighting for unionization. And I'm going to do a little song I wrote to start off with about just kind of the fact that Appalachian Kentucky often gets painted with one kind of stroke, and we're all just a bunch of people that vote against our own interests and a red state. But there is a liberal Kentucky, and that's very much where this song is coming from. You can pick your least favorite politician to keep in mind while you listen to this song. It's called There's a Hole Where Your Soul's Supposed to Be. There's an unpleasant truth I must tell, and I'm talking to certain politicians. If you look deep inside of yourself, you will find something very important is missing. There's a hole where your soul's supposed to be. Your hypocrisy is plain for us to see. You pass bad law after bad law, shafting babies, vets, and grandpa with your smug smile of maniacal glee. You say you're a Christian, but you're not. The words of our Lord, you don't support them. You spurn the sick poor and turn the beggar from your door. And if Jesus returns, you'll deport him. There's a hole where your soul's supposed to be. Your hypocrisy's plain for us to see. You pass bad law after bad law, shafting babies, vets, and grandpa with your smug smile of maniacal glee. In a room full of rich old white men, you write policy as fast as you are able. But when you're voting on the fate of my reproductive state, I'd sure like to have some women at the table. There's a hole where your soul's supposed to be. You personify the patriarchy. Human suffering doesn't daunt you. I'm pretty sure that hell won't want you. And your exploits will live on in infamy. With your smug smile of maniacal glee.
Oh man! Holy cow!
Put your finger on it, didn't you, girl?
Woo! Gotta have a little fun with it, you know.
Oh.
Laugh or we can cry. Well, I'll just keep right on going. And just to say a little bit about Music to Life, my involvement, I believe I might have been in the very first ever contest back when it was a songwriting contest, the first one or the second one, something like that. And so now I'm currently going through the Musician Changemaker Academy, and which is another awesome program, and it's totally feeding my soul. It's just a bunch of artists like the artists on the roster, and we're being taught, we're being encouraged, we're being given sort of the fuel to keep doing what we're doing. So that's really beautiful. And I'll just share a little bit about my main causes. So I'm trying to help craft a narrative about Appalachian, about Kentucky, that's created from those of us within here instead of from mass media stereotypes. And also to help shift everyone, including our own ideas about what it means to be from here, to include more diversity of all kinds. And I work with, specifically, one of my current main projects is called Cornbread and Tortillas, which is a bilingual folk opera that has a cast of 7, and we do stories, music, and dance from throughout the Americas, showcasing life stories in English and Spanish from all the different members of the cast. So that's a special project, and we have a lot of workshops and outreach that we do to try to create a more pro-immigrant climate, because we're all immigrants, And so also in the spirit of creating a more diverse Kentucky, I'm going to do a song that I wrote, and I wrote this one. I mean, we write all of our songs for ourselves. We're writing about our own experiences, but I grew up in a very fundamentalist church, and had to have a lot of therapy to that. But I have a good friend who's gay man, and he grew up in the same church, and I've known him for a really long time. A famous author, actually, named Silas House. He's one of our beloved literary sons of Kentucky, and he grew up in the same church, and he married a woman, had kids, and the church is very repressive, and I got to watch this whole process where he came out. He met the love of his life. He got married as soon as the law was available. And it was a really beautiful, it was just a beautiful process to watch him become himself all the way. Sorry, I'm getting emotional like folk singers do. And so it's called Wings of a Dove. I'll sing it for Silas, but we have some pretty reprehensible things going on in the Kentucky state legislature right now. with the anti-LGBTQ plus legislation that many states are enacting right now. So this is, yeah, I'll just sing it. This is how the story begins, with all the things that I've been through. I guess I'll have to try and pretend that I'm okay till I don't have to. And I see miles and miles of blue-green hills to climb. And I know nothing's gonna hold me back this time. 'Cause I've never felt so free. I feel the changes washing over me. And I've never felt such love. It's just like flying on the wings of a dove. Sometimes when you think it's the end, you find out it's the beginning. And sometimes when you think that you've lost, you realize that you were winning. Now I'm walking out of that wide open door. And my dream is bigger than it was before. 'Cause I've never felt so free. I feel the changes washing over me. And I've never felt such love. It's just like flying on the wings of a dove. Funny all the time that I've spent thinking I was somehow broken. And funny about this cage I've been in all this time. The door was open, and I see miles and miles of endless open sky. And I finally figured out that I can fly. 'Cause I've never felt so free. I feel the changes washing over me. And I've never felt such love. It's just like flying on the wings of a dove.
Woo!
Carla.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. I was hoping to sneak two more in, but I think I probably just should do one more. So I better play a banjo tune. So like I mentioned, you know, I grew up in a pretty traditional church and a lot of traditional gender roles and that kind of thing. And it's one of the things that I've pushed back against in the course of the ways that I want to change, help change my state, my myself, my family, my culture. And so many years ago, I heard a Peggy Seeger song called B-Side, which is it's like a role reversal song where she asks men to imagine, what if you had to walk to your car with your rape alarm and think about all the things that women are encouraged to think about to keep ourselves safe. And but I always wanted to sing it, but I can't sing like her, and I have a really mountainy voice. And so I decided to play with that song, and I actually contacted her and got her blessing and sort of rewrote the song. I put it to a mountain ballad. We have a lot of ballads in Appalachia that are, warning young ladies of how to, come all you young ladies, and a warning take by me, and that kind of thing. So I felt like this song would really lend itself to that. And so I had a good time with that and shared it with Peggy. That was a cool experience. So it's called Dangerous Women. I recorded it with my daughter, but she's not here tonight.
Come on, you fine young fellers, and a warning take by me. Be sure you mind your manners and forsake bad company. Look out, take care, beware, be careful what you do. For if something bad should happen, the blame it falls on you. You know that boys are made of sugar and spice, and girls of snails and puppy dog tails, and not a thing that's nice. And they turn into women with needs hard to control. So you must dress and act like prisoners on parole. Men, watch out, there's dangerous women about. Boys, take care, they could be anywhere. It's just the way God made them, it's the way of this old world. You mustn't tempt their nature, for girls will be girls. Be careful when night walking and travel 2 by 2. For if a lustful woman should turn her gaze on you, if you look glum, she'll say, won't you smile for me now, boy? And if you tell her no, she'll think you're playing coy. Men, watch out, there's dangerous women about. Boys, take care, they could be anywhere. It's just the way God made them, it's the way of this old world. You mustn't tempt their nature, for girls will be girls. Cover up your legs and button up your shirt. For if you are attacked and you take the woman to court, the judges all are women who say you were dressed for sport. The lawyers all are women who say you were asking for it. And oh, what a crime, what an awful disgrace, to have to fear half of the human race. But look around, all the decent women about outnumber the bad ones, there's never been a doubt. But do they raise their voice to try and bring it to an end? No, they only protest, it's not all women. Men, for girls, there's no joke in this song. Boys, for women, it's gone on far too long. Could you bear as we do from beginning until end?
to walk and live and love and fear of dangerous men.
Woo!
So much for having me here. It's an honor.
Thank you, Carla.
Carla, great stuff. Oh my gosh, well, Dad might remember the story, but Carla, that was about 20 years ago at the Kerrville Folk Festival when it was 110 degrees, right, in Texas, and you had to get up on stage and you had a newborn and you just were like, here you go, Liz, take this. And the baby started crying while Carla was singing a song about money and how we're all a slave to money and how we give our children to people we don't know as we have to go work. And it was just one of these great ironies that I'm sitting here holding this child sweating while she's singing the song. It was very funny. Anyway, so yes, Carla is one of 9 Musician Changemaker Academy students that we are just so excited. This is thanks to the Mellon Foundation, one of the largest arts and culture funders in the country, that has found us and has decided we need to do this more and more and more. Connecting with these artists and connecting them with the resources they need to realize these amazing visions for change in their community. So super, super excited about that. Thank you, Carla. So, oh my gosh. All right. So SaulPaul, I don't know when we first met, but I just remember hearing about you and I was like, I just have to talk to this guy because he is I don't even know how you describe yourself these days, but you are well, the sound check, which none of you had the privy to listen to, was I had to write to him afterwards and just say, see, you're one of a kind. You are a rapping folk artist who uses tracks and beats and all kinds of things in your music. If you ever get to see him live, he's amazing. But yeah, we've known each other for a while. All right, I'm going to just read this amazing background too, because you are a Grammy nominated artist a couple times now. International reputation as a musician with a message, right? Rapper, singer, songwriter. Yes, you are an entertaining and undeniably talented musician. And you've used your personal message from prison to purpose to provide a message of hope, inspiration, and empowerment to transform lives. And he's all over the web. So you can find him on TEDx stages. You've done 5 Super Bowls. I don't know how that happened. America's Got Talent, South by Southwest, Kennedy Center, all over the place. So, I just feel like we've done all kinds of stuff together, and I'm just so glad that we get to share this space because I haven't seen you in a while, and you weren't at Vocal Alliance last year. So next year.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Welcome, SaulPaul.
Thank you for having me. Salute to everyone that preceded me. So honored to be here amongst these other musicianaries and change makers and champions. I'll do a couple songs. 3 if I don't talk too much. This first song is called Rise. Yeah, that was thank you. That was one of the first songs I learned to play on this beautiful classical acoustic guitar. I love the connection between folk music and hip hop, because they're both genres that come from the heart. They come from personal story. They inspire. As it was shared earlier, it's more so about the message than just the style. And so I had this heart to always be able to reach people, not just people, everyone. And I saw that because I was black and because I rapped, people had this bias. Musicians and non-musicians alike had this bias, like, oh, I get it, you're black, and you rap, so this is where you belong. You go in this group. And I didn't like that. And that was okay, because I recognized when you're a change maker, then you make the change. You can't just sit and hope people do something differently. So I had to figure out how to infiltrate. So it worked because I had a little chip on my shoulder, and I was a personal trainer. I went to the University of Texas at Austin, and it was quite fortuitous because I randomly put up this sign in the School of Music, and I had just discovered the power of this magical thing called barter. I don't know if anybody knows about it. If you don't know about it, look it up. It's magical. It's when you trade stuff. And that's very helpful when you're broke. And I was in college and I was broke. So I couldn't pay for lessons, but I was a personal trainer. And I was like, well, barter personal training lessons for piano or guitar. Like, at this point, I kind of didn't even know the difference. I was like, I just want to play an instrument because there's this bias because I don't play an instrument. And luckily, the person that responded, Kim Perlak, she's now the chair of the guitar department at Berklee School of Music. At this point, she was at UT getting her doctorate in music. And she was like, yeah, I want to get in shape. I'll play guitar. We can barter. And luckily, she took me to this music store, and I bought my first classical acoustic guitar. And little did I know it would change my life. Haven't put it down since. I took the words. Here's a little nugget in case people don't know. RAP is an acronym. The R is for rhythm, the A is and the P is for poetry. So rhythm and poetry. If you take away the rhythm, then you just have the poetry. So I took the poetry from rap, I put it over my guitar, created my own little style, and it really allowed me to entertain, inspire, and empower, and accomplish many things. I went to South Africa last summer for the first time, and it was life-changing. I discovered the true story of Mandela. Madiba, I'd always known, you get information how you get it and whatnot, but he became an inspiration, and somehow it impacted me because earlier this year when I was doing the traditional MLK event, I say traditional because you definitely get booked a lot during Black History Month and MLK events when you're black, but that's another workshop. Look at Reggie. Look at Reggie. But anyway, I was doing MLK, and MLK is already amazing to me, but it was different this time. And I had this epiphany, and I discovered that MLK was really all about love. And he laid down his life so much. He laid down his life because he was the epitome of love. And it inspired a song. And I wrote a song about love. And this is that song. So love is patient, love is kind. Got me on my Stevie Wonder, turning the blind eye. I'm knowing that they hate, I'm knowing that they lying, but hate can't be hate, so I chill and be fine. My name in the skyline, they stalking my timeline. Too blessed to be stressed, can't damn black my shine. So I lead by example, serving these free samples, choosing to bet on love 'cause I know it's the best gamble.
Woo!
I love it. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, man.
So, where I bring my two worlds together. Oh, rather, maybe I should share a little bit about the work that I do. Behind me and always on me, there's always this slogan, this mantra, this campaign, the social good movement that I started back in 2015 called Beat the Change. I've done 3 TED Talks about it. I'm really proud of the last one. And my short version of how I describe Beat the Change is the fact is we all stay on the same planet. The truth is we each live in our own world. I'll pause and rewind that because there's a difference between fact and truth. So the fact is we all live on Earth. That's indisputable. The truth is we each live in our own world. So the fact is we all stay on the same planet. The truth is we each live in our own world. And I encourage people to be the change in the world they live in. That takes a lot of weight. That puts the responsibility back. That empowers everyone to be the change and not have to look left, look right, hope that they would change it, hope they would change it, hope they would do something different. You recognize that you are empowered to be the change. Just like all of the artists that have preceded me this evening, like those that will come after, like those that are that Music to Life amplifies. And it's like when you recognize, like, I can be the change. And then you can scale that as large as you want to, or you can keep it as narrow as you want to. But everybody can individually be the change. Myself, I literally want to change the world. Yeah, I literally want to change the world. Last fall, we went on a 100-city tour. Visited 100 schools in 32 states over 16 weeks. We had this goal to impact 50,000 students. We ended up impacting 75,000 students. We had this goal to empower these young change makers to be the change in their own community, to come up with their own volunteerism project, to see a need, solve a problem. We had this moonshot goal that they might decide that collectively we could volunteer 50,000 hours. Who knew if we would make it? I didn't, but I knew it was a good stretch goal. We exceeded the goal. We actually collectively volunteered 64,000 hours. And these young students took it, and they continued to run with it and come up with new change-maker projects. So I think if you're out there, you should be celebrating those young people right now because our future is bright. Now, what I learned from the woman that raised me, is that as long as you have something to give. My grandmother was the woman that raised me. Everybody called her Big Mama. I just called her Mama. She was the only mother that I knew. She raised me because through no fault of my own, I ended up in foster care. My mom died when I was 3. My dad left before I was born. So She came in like Wonder Woman, adopted me. There was a 65-year age gap. She did the best she could. She did an amazing job. Nonetheless, she raised me in extreme poverty in a violent ghetto in Houston, Texas. A man was murdered in my front yard. I lived next door to a dope house. Like, she just raised me in poverty. I was a product of poverty. Nonetheless, I knew in my home I was loved. I knew that no matter what I did, she would love me. Her love was unconditional. And even though she raised me on food stamps and a Social Security check and food from the church food pantry, she somehow every weekend people would come to our house and she would give them plates of food that she prepared. And through those actions, she taught me that as long as you have something to give. So everything I do as a representation of her. I'm her legacy. She passed away before I graduated high school. I was 17 years old. She passed away. She never knew I got arrested because I got arrested when I was 17 by the FBI. By the time I was 20, I went to the Texas State Penitentiary. In prison, I discovered I was born on purpose with a purpose, started walking in my purpose. God blessed me. I got out of prison. That's when I got accepted to the prestigious University of Texas at Austin. Then I graduated with a 4.0 from UT. And that's when I discovered that I had a bigger purpose in life than to not be a recidivist. A fancy word meaning don't go back to jail. I knew that I had to do more than just get a job and pay taxes. I knew I had to do more. And that's also when I discovered my gift. Like Bill Withers, I discovered my gift for music later in life. But I threw myself into it, and now this is what I do. I'm excited to do it. This last song I shall perform is a song dedicated to my mama. And that's what it's called. It's called Mama. Let me see how fancy I can get on the interweb. Let me try something. That's how Carly was. That's what mine was like. But it's always 2020 when it's hindsight.
Oh, woo! Great stuff.
Wow, SaulPaul, thank you so much for that. I urge everybody who's watching tonight to please visit SaulPaul's website, saulpaul.com. I was going through it earlier today and looking at all the performers we have, and such an inspirational story, a tough story, but to see what he's created and what he's doing, and the work he's doing, and the music he's making, the art he's sharing with everybody, it's a real inspiration to all of us. So please look for his website, saulpaul.com. You won't be sorry, I guarantee you. Well, this has been quite a night, and there's still more to come. But before we go too far, I do want to thank everyone who has been donating to our tip jar tonight. You folks recognize the importance of the work Music to Life is doing, and the Greenwich Village Folk Festival does each month. But the artists we have tonight are doing so much more, and your support tonight goes to help each and every one of them. We normally, when we ask for donations, it's to help keep this organization going, and we've been pretty lucky because a longtime generous benefactor of the Greenwich Village Folk Festival has covered all of our technical expenses this month. So everything that we're raising tonight is going to these artists. So go to our webpage, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org, to make that donation. You can also see in the links the PayPal link we have to go to our tip jar and keep these artists supported. It's so important. Well, our next performers, unfortunately, they were going to be here live, but, you know, it's still a little cold and flu season. And one of the members of the duo, Joselyn, came down with a sinus infection. And if you're a musician, you know, performing with a sinus infection is not something you really want to do. But we're happy that they've been able to supply us a video that we're going to share with you now. Joselyn Wilkinson and Don Barrazo's live arrangements feature fingerpicked guitar, tenor ukulele, percussion, and it allows Joselyn's voice to shine through with such strength and vulnerability, and sometimes joined by Don's very powerful harmonies. The duo sees their music as a powerful way to share the truth, build community, and support social and environmental efforts that are very close to their hearts. Their music is a fusion of folk, blues, and jazz, and their 2020 debut album, Soar, and their 2022 EP, Seeds and Bones, have been warmly received by critics and independent radio across the globe. And tonight, we're going to be treated to this video. So let's roll the tape. Here are Joselyn and Don.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Your graves, do you know we're still suffering from the choice you made? All you Williams in the southern dirts, pulling me down, 'cause I can't heal the hurts. There's a shadow from Kentucky all the way to California. It crosses Mississippi and touches my soul. I wasn't there for the worst of it, but I still feel the hurt of it. When hate has no home, it's gonna give up the ghost. All you Sarahs, are you still looking down? Get off your high horse now. All your sons are brown, and all your daughters. We know our own minds. No more to be silent, no more to be blind. There's a shadow from Kentucky all the way to California. It crosses Mississippi and touches my soul. I wasn't there for the worst of it, but I still feel the hurt of it. When
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to do another one from this album. And yeah, so that last one was kind of like talking to some ancestors. And this one is kind of acknowledging that we're like the ancestors of our future. We got to be careful what we're going to pass on.
1, 2, 3.
The cry of the hawk and the morning dove, the red-winged blackbird, all singing for love. They mark their land and catch their prey to feed their babies for another day. I could feel that free here on the ground if I just release the burden to which I bound my seeds and bones, seeds and bones. What do we carry with us? What do we bury on the road? Seeds and bones, seeds and bones. What do we carry? What do we bury on the road? What do we gather when we're called to leave? Flames of disaster are licking at our heels. Should I take my anger, my righteous need, all overgrown with my beliefs? Is there room for the promise I must keep? I may not see the harvest, my children will reap my seeds and bones, seeds and bones. What do we carry with us? What do we bury on the road? I took a fruit that was offered me, I ate it whole and I kept the seeds. Scatter with me when I leave, see what sticks and what wants to be. In fertile soil or blown by a desert wind, we find a place that we can start again. All I carry is in the palm of my hand, these seeds of hope for another land.
That was Joselyn Don, and we're sorry they couldn't be with us tonight, and we wish Joselyn well. She's got a little sinus infection, and hopefully we'll see her back both of them back here in the future on the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Terrific performance. Well, our next guest is an author, a singer, a songwriter, a poet, and a motivational speaker who comes from an intertribal lineage of Southern Ute, Pyramid Lake Paiute, and Duckwater Shoshone Nations, where she's an enrolled citizen. She received a BA in English from Stanford University and an MFA in creative writing from the University of New Mexico. Winder's poetry collections include Words Like Love and Why Storms Are Named After People and Bullets Remain Nameless. Please welcome Tanaya Winder.
Thank you, everyone. Mike Nunania Tanaya Winder, Nunania Tumutwachich Mamach. I just introduced myself in the Ute language. I am not fluent in my language. It's something that I've used to feel shame about, not being able to speak my language fluently. And then I realized that's what colonization wanted me to feel, was that shame, because my language was stolen from me. And now I do my best to try to reclaim, learn the languages of the different nations I belong to. And so this first song I'm going to do contains a Ute phrase called Tu Teveok, and it means it's a good day. One of the elders in our communities would always send these emails every week, and they would have a phrase in the Ute language. And when I heard this one, I knew I had to put it in a song to help me remember the language. And this song is called It's a Good Day, and today's a good day to be able to share space with you all, with Music to Life, and all of these amazing musicians. So. Woke up this morning to greet the day, lit my sage to give thanks and began to pray. Hey, I asked Creator, do what you can to guide my path. That's all I ask. To it's a good day. Ancestors, please protect my spirit, those I hold dearest in my heart. If there are wounds, help me heal them, so others know love even for a minute. It's a good day. All right. So this
That took me by surprise.
Yeah, our language is like a prayer. The way we start our day is like a prayer, and music, lyrics, words always give us that ability to turn things around. And part of my passion and what I do is called heart work. I believe each of us has a purpose, a work, a seed that's been planted in our hearts by Creator, by higher power, and it's our duty to make that come alive on this earth. And part of what I love teaching, and I'm part of an Indigenous arts collective called Dream Warriors, and we travel throughout Turtle Island doing public speaking, motivational speaking, poetry writing workshops, songwriting workshops, because music has saved each and every one of us, music and poetry. And so, you know, honoring that and helping support people through their mental health journeys and offering these tools for healing is so important to me, and I'm so honored to be one of the juried artists for Music to Life, because I know that music does give us life. So this next song I'm going to perform is called Come Back to Me. And it's about calling yourself back to yourself, calling your spirit back to you, and that no matter what happens in life, it's never too late to do that. It's never too late to call yourself back to yourself. Trying to find my place in this world, but it's hard to heal, holding so much hurt. I feel the weight of each wound's cries, the tears that fall, try to hide my light. When you hear the darkness and it's coming for your heart, call sacred medicines you've carried from the start. Come back to me, come back to me, come back to me. My eyes were blinded by unhealthiness, anything to fill this emptiness. I stumbled and I've fallen over misplaced dreams, wanting a taste of something just to feel anything. When you feel the pain of trauma eating you away, call on your ancestors to return your strength. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. You get to find the pieces you thought you ever lost. Reach deep inside to call back your heart. Come back to me. But yeah, I think a lot of us, we make mistakes, we stumble, we pick ourselves up, we fumble forward, but it's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to set out on a new path. And I love music so much. Even when you mess up, you hit a wrong string, you get a note off, you keep going. Like, music is like life. Like, you have to keep going. You don't stop, you don't get frustrated, you just move forward. And so I'm always humbled in a good way, whenever I mess up. So this last song I'm going to share has to do with love. I write a lot about love, all kinds of love that I know I'm in good company with. We all think about these things: environmental love, communal love, familial love, our love with our partners, our love with intimacy. But self-love is so important as well too. And I think, meeting my husband and falling in love with my partner, I learned a lot about just patience and grace and forgiveness and all of those things that help us on our journeys. When I tell my mom I love you, she always says I love you more. But what my husband taught me was that, because we're all flawed, I had to say, well, thanks for loving me, he'll say sometimes. And I say, well, thanks for loving me too, because I know I make a lot of mistakes. And so this song is called Thanks for Loving Me. back up when I fall. And I just wanted to say to you, thanks for loving me too. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for loving me too. I never thought I'd find the one I'd want for life, someone with wounds that matched mine. I never known a feeling quite this strong. Finally found where I belong. And I just wanted to say to you, thanks for loving me too. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for loving me. Thanks for loving me too. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. And for Liz, I've never met somebody who is just so giving and caring about a whole person, and how arts just impacts so many of us, and how music just really does have the ability to make great change in this world. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Tanaya.
Yeah, the pleasure is ours, mine. Oh my gosh. I do want to acknowledge the courage that's been in this room. I do. So thank you all for speaking truth, sharing views, putting issues and messages out there that people need to hear. It's a very, very courageous act, and I'm inspired every single day in this work by everything that you all do. So thank you. Hi, Dad. Are we back together?
Hi.
Hi. It's been a treat to share the virtual stage again with you too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad I saved this song for the last, because it's kind of a summary of all of our hopes and wishes. Thank you, Tanaya. That was lovely to hear. Lovely to hear that vulnerability that you express in your music. All right, well, I think this is the last song of the night, hey?
Hey.
Should all acquaintance be for... No, it's not that song. I was going to do this one. There's a warning in the wind. It comes wailing through the trees. A depression in the shoreline left by the pounding seas. There is a lesson in the drought that brings a country to its knees in these times. We are dancing with disaster when we live beyond our needs and pretend our hungry souls are not related to our greed. Life's a journey, but it's not about the speed in these times. In these times, we must be mindful of the gift. In these times, use our hands and hearts to lift the fallen spirit in this land. Planting flowers in the sand, reaching out a helping hand. In these times, as the perfect storm approaches and the gale around us roars, no longer can we close our eyes or hide behind our doors. Our choice is fewer now by what we've chosen to ignore in these times. The ship of state is drifting and it's getting hard to steer. It's a complicated issue, but the direction's pretty clear. And each of us there from here in these times. Oh, in these times, we must be mindful of the gift in these times. Use our hands and hearts to lift the Holy Spirit in this land, bringing water to the sand, reaching out a helping hand in these times. In everything that's living, there is a promise of a love planted in the seeds below and in the stars above. We must listen to its promise, become a faithful stewards of these times. Yeah, in these times, we must be mindful of the gift in these times. Use our hands and hearts to lift the Holy Spirit in this land. Plenty gardens in the sand, reaching out a helping hand in these times.
Woo!
Oh, Noel, thank you so much for that. You know, I just want to say the work that you and Liz have done for Music to Life. I mean, what you put together tonight, all these amazing artists have really sent a message to all of us and inspired us. So I hope everybody out there watching. Noel, before you leave, I mean, this is usually the time, if we were in a concert hall, you would start to see people, you know, waving their lights around in the air to ask for an encore. So I'm wondering if I can speak for the audience, if you'd mind doing one more?
Are you kidding? We're way over the time limit, man. There's got to be little babies that want to go to sleep.
It's 10:05. 10:05. Come on, we're all young. No, seriously, if you're too tired, that's understandable. That was a great closer, but
I love to do because of the maturity now of people addressing the spiritual nature of their lives. I feel that I could probably do this 1-minute epilogue that says, "May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, and may God hold you in the palm of her hand." Thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you, Noel. Thank you so much for this. Liz, are you still there? Would you like to come back on and we can thank everybody together?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
What a night. And thank you, Liz. It's been such a joy to be a co-MC with you tonight and your father. What a lineup you put together. Do you want to thank them, or would you like me to read the list?
If you've got the list in front of you, by all means, go ahead. I know I'm going to see all these people again and again and again because they are so in our lives. So you go, read them.
Well, if folks want to see it again, they can also go back to our archives, GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org. We'll have an edited version to clean everything up a little bit, but that'll be on soon. But let's thank Reggie Harris, Emma Jayne, Thea Hopkins, Charlie Mosbrook, Emma's Revolution, Carla Gover, SaulPaul, Tanaya Winder, Joselyn Don, and of course, your dad, Noel Paul Stookey, and you, Liz. Again, what I was saying before to your father, the work that you and your dad put together to create Music to Life, it's really making a difference. And hopefully inspiring new generations as well. If our audience wants to get in touch with you, how can they find out more about Music to Life?
Yeah, I think everything's been dropped in the chat, but it's musictolife.org. That's the best way to do it. You can donate there, which I have to say, but also donate to the Tip Jar. I can't say it enough. These incredible talent and incredible work in the field. I mean, this is how we're bringing music to address some of the challenges of our times. So this is what they all are doing. These are incredible, incredible artists and community workers, and we're in service to them. So yeah, musictolife.org, and you'll find me there too. So you can write to me too.
Great. Well, hopefully everybody will be checking it out. And of course, check out greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. That's our website where you can also click to donate and help support all these artists, and find out if you missed any of the shows or any of our shows since we started back in 2020. They're all there. Now, our next broadcast, as you know, it's the first Sunday of the month, so we'll be back on April the 2nd, no fooling, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I can give you some of the names. We're still working on the lineup, but next month will be David Essig, Abby Posner, Rachel Sage, Anja Duvakut, David Amram, and Michael McNevin. It's going to be fun, so don't miss it. Sunday, April 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and, well, many more months to come. Liz, again, thank you. Thank you, Noel, and thank you all for watching tonight. I'm Ron Olesko, and have a wonderful evening. Music to Life. Remember, take care, everybody.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thanks so much.